Okay, so we're gonna get started. Hello, future Ravens. I'm so glad that you're here and tuned in, and I hope you are all staying safe from wherever you are. My name is Briar, and I am the Digital Content and Communications Coordinator with undergraduate recruitment at Carleton University. I'm coming to you today from a very hot day in Ottawa, Ontario. It is about 34 degrees here the last time I checked, which is not normal for this time of year. But we are not going to complain. We are going to roll with it. But yeah, I'm so happy that you're all joining us today for our second Instagram Live, where we are spotlighting the Student Experience Office, which is better known as the SEO on campus. So if you haven't already, you should definitely check out the first Instagram Live that we did yesterday with our friends from the Student Experience Office, where my colleague Celine and our friend Dan from the SEO gave a little bit of a brief overview as to what their CU 1001 program will entail this summer. And they also discussed wellness. So today I have Veronica, who is a current student. She actually just finished her first year at Carleton. And she's a current student with the Student Experience Office as well, and she'll be joining me. So I am just going to try and loop her into the conversation and onto the screen so that everyone else can see her as well. But in the meantime, let me know in the comments where you're coming from, and I'll try to loop Veronica in. We're just gonna wait a few minutes to get her to come join us. Hi,
Hi,
Veronica.
everyone.
How are you?
I'm good. You?
I'm good. I'm so glad that you're here joining us. Do you want to give all the folks watching a little bit of an introduction?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Veronica. I just finished my first year, like Briar said. I finished my program for first year in biomedical and mechanical engineering, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about the academics portion of our new CU 1001 program. Super excited.
That's awesome. I'm really excited too. So we have a few questions that we want to ask you specifically about the academics pillar in the CU 1001 program. But before we get into those, I was wondering if you could give maybe a little bit of an intro as to what the CU 1001 program will entail for anyone who didn't tune in yesterday, as well as maybe a brief overview of what happens at the Student Experience Office.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So the Student Experience Office, we're here to help prepare students to the transition into university life. And so we're here to help them achieve their personal, social, and academic goals, as well as provide them with different leadership opportunities, which is super awesome, through things like programming and the services that we offer. And our CU 1001 program is kind of like the newest edition, and it's going to be a free online mini course for all of you incoming Raven students. And we're basically just introducing you guys to the Carleton community and the resources that are available to you. And there's going to be 5 different modules. So there is academics, finances, wellness, campus life, and employability. And we're going to present to you this information through things like videos, presentations, webinars, and more. So stay tuned. It's very exciting.
That's so exciting. I was a first year student about 5 years ago, and I would have loved to do this sort of programming. So I am so stoked for everyone who will have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, I know, right? I totally wish I could do redo first year just to have like this course available. It's gonna be so exciting. Uh,
Yeah, for sure. So do you want to get right into the academics related questions?
yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Awesome. So the first question that I have for you today is what exactly will the academic section of the CU 1001 program look like, and what exactly can students expect to take away from it?
Okay, so there's going to be 2 main things that we're going to cover. The first thing is academic adjustment. So we're talking about things that are different from high school and transitioning to university courses. So like a syllabus, what that is, and like how to read it. the grading system at Carleton, as well as the keys to success. We're also going, the second thing is academic supports, because there are organizations out there to help you achieve your academic goals. Things such as the Paul Menton Center for Students with Disabilities and the library services, and just, there's so many more that we can cover.
Absolutely. I know there are an abundance of resources at Carleton. And yeah, like I said, I'm so excited for students to learn more about them.
Mhm.
So you touched a little bit, I touched a little bit on the keys to success. So do you have any keys to success as a student coming out of your first year?
Yes, definitely do. So on top of like taking notes and having good time management, both of which are really important, I also think that attending your classes is probably the number one tip, just because you're really able to immerse yourself into the learning environment, especially being with other students and having direct contact with your professor makes it so much easier to absorb the information as well as ask questions because emailing professors can take a while, waiting for them to get back to you, but in class, you're with them so they can kind of answer you right away, which is nice.
Yeah, for sure. I think that one thing that I regret personally not doing in my first year at Carleton was just taking advantage of the amazing professors that we do have on campus, their office hours. And it might seem a little bit scary at first to, uh,
Yeah, sure.
out with your but there definitely is that learning curve coming from high school to university, and all of the profs that I've interacted with are amazing at chatting with students, and they want you to come to their office hours. So
Yeah, they get so excited when they say, "Oh yeah, I had students come and it was just so much fun. Got to, conversate with these people." So
yeah.
yeah, good to see you.
So another question that I have for you
Mhm.
is, have you used any of the academic support resources on campus?
Oh, yes, I have used a lot of them. So I guess today I'll just kind of gloss over the main ones because if, talked about all of them, we would be here all day. So the biggest one I used was probably the library, just because they had something called silent study areas, and I found that was really helpful to like focus on what you needed to get done, especially if there's like no outside noise that was distracting you. Um, and yeah, they also have rooms that you can book, which is super helpful if you need like a room for group project or you want to run like a group study session. It's really nice because they have like this really big whiteboard and you can just like draw and like diagrams, have fun with it. And yeah, those are good resources. So other than the library, there's something called workshops that the academic support groups can run for you. And you basically learn about topics in depth, such as how to work in groups, how to take notes, and how to prepare for exams. And I think that those are important to cover, especially in first year, just because the topics are slightly different coming into university. So I think it's good to have that advice coming from a university student. And like you said before, professor office hours. They love to have you there. You don't just have to talk about the content. Like you can go and just, ask them how their day was, or you can even talk about career related advice. Like maybe just ask, what school did you go to? How did you find working in this field? Because they're honestly, they have so much experience that they'd love to share with you. And it's just a matter of asking. So definitely take advantage of that.
For sure. So speaking of, first year courses and professors, what would you say was your favorite first year course that you took this past year?
Okay, that was a fairly easy question. My favorite course is chemistry. So it was Chem 101 and 102, which is really nice, I found, because it was such a diverse learning experience. Like it wasn't just lectures, they also had tutorials and labs, which is really neat because the lectures were fun. We had a nice instructor, she was super funny, and the content was just presented in such a clear way. So it was easy to understand. And then we had the tutorials, which was nice because it was like a smaller class, so you got to have a more collaborative learning experience because you get to work with your friends and you can like talk to the TA, the teaching assistant. And it's especially good for people if you don't feel like raising your hand in a giant lecture hall because it feels more like, I guess, a smaller classroom, so more to what you're comfortable with. We also had labs, which was super fun. You can dress up in your lab coat, your little glasses and gloves, and just play with all the chemicals and yeah, just apply what you learned. And I just thought it was so awesome to have all of those things happening because you got to really absorb the content without having to like review it a million times by yourself. So I thought that was a lot of fun.
That's super exciting to hear. I think it's definitely interesting because when I heard you initially say chemistry, I was a little bit surprised just because I don't come from, a science background. I'm a journalism grad. So,
Okay.
so awesome to hear that Carleton students are so well-rounded and, there's so many amazing programs across our five faculties. So
Hmm.
I'm so pumped to hear that a student really loved their first year science classes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Um,
so um, we have a few more questions. So the next question that I have for you is what pillar that you'll cover during CU 1001 do you wish you knew more about during your first year?
Okay, so the thing I'd have to say is the employability pillar, just because when people say university, automatically their mind goes to like, okay, it's school, and that's all I have to think about, so just the academics. But you also have to consider that there's so many job opportunities available on campus and through the Carleton Central website that I really wish I could have applied to more earlier. But yeah, that's definitely available, as well as career services, because I know that a lot of people want to update their resume from moving from high school to university. So they have services that can look at your resume and read over your cover letters tailored to the job that you're applying for. And I think that's super handy to have like an extra set of eyes looking at your resume. And yeah, definitely take advantage of that as well.
Yes, I too would recommend career services. I coming into university had no idea how to write a formal resume,
Mhm.
and services like that are what help students when they graduate and when they're trying to seek some meaningful employment during their Carleton years. So thank you so much for touching on that a little bit.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry, I see that we do have a few questions in the comments. Is it okay if I answer them?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll pull some of them up.
Okay.
Was there one specific question that you wanted to answer first or touch on?
Sure, I'll ask. So one person asked, what would be your advice for first year students? Okay, so one thing I would say is definitely get involved as much as you can. It's very easy to kind of wrap yourself up in all the work you have to do and like keep yourself busy with all the assignments, but there's always time to spend like developing skills for yourself and meeting new friends. It's really important just to have kind of like a more rounded personality. Um, and yeah, just have fun and enjoy yourself. It's not every day you can be first year university. So yeah, it's definitely a good piece of advice I would give.
Awesome. Um, Oh, my friend Caden asked a question. He said, as a first year student, what is the most valuable resource you've used?
Hmm. Have to say talking to professors and the library. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
already covered the library and professors, but they're just so helpful, especially when you're in a rut, because there's a lot of like individual readings that you have to do. But I feel like they can just help you kind of clear any misunderstandings in like a split second. So yeah, those are definitely super helpful.
I would have to agree.
Hmm. Yeah, sorry, I see another question, and he's asking, or she's asking, our first year course is hard. I'm hesitant on taking a full course load for online for semester. Okay, that is a little like scary, I guess, if you've never taken online courses before. But I do have to say, the content isn't tricky. Like the way that university presents it, it's very understandable. Um, it's more a matter of like the amount of content. Like there is a little bit more that you have to learn, but it is easy because your teachers give you assignments and like things that can really help you absorb the content better. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. Just kind of go at your pace and try to keep up with all the lectures and just kind of do everything as they present it to you, which is what the syllabus does. So we will talk more about that later. on the CU 1001 course. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I don't see any more questions. So I guess I'll hop back to the last question actually that I had for you.
Mhm.
So what is one thing you're most looking forward to incoming students learning about in this U 1001 program?
Okay, so on top of learning about all the different academic supports, like I said, there's so many, and I wish that I could try them all, but I couldn't in my first year. It's just not possible. I do recommend looking at the first year connections program because they're kind of like your older sibling, um, just in a sense because they match you up with someone who's in a similar program as you or in the same program as you. So they can give you good advice, like academic advice. They can talk to you about how to get around on campus and just kind of guide you to the resources that you're looking for. For example, I told her, oh, I'm in engineering and I really like science. And she said, oh, that's perfect. You can join the Women in Science Club. You can meet new friends and you can have lots of fun events. And I think it's just a really good resource just because they can um, make you feel like you're being guided instead of like going to university by yourself and having to figure everything out but by yourself. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that First Year Connections FYC is an amazing program.
Oh yeah.
Um, having mentors who, thinking about your future almost as much as you're thinking about your future is it's very important.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, we can take any more questions that have come up in the comment section.
Oh, see,
Um,
these are really
any,
curious. This is awesome.
yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Hmm. Yeah, you can answer some of these too. I feel like I'm talking too much.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Um, let's see. This is a
Okay.
very random one, but someone asked, I guess me specifically, being a graduate of the journalism program, how was my experience? And I have to say, my experience was phenomenal. I love. I will talk so highly about the journalism program anytime anyone asks me questions about it. I loved every year, almost every class that I took was incredible, and it set me up very well for jobs in journalism. Currently, I work in communications, but business, policy. There's so many career outcomes from that program. So many amazing alum that come out of it as well. So yeah, journalism, 100%. I would say the best program at Carleton, but of course I'm super biased, and I'm sure everyone else, every other program, say
Oh, that
the
hurt. Okay.
same thing.
Nice. Okay. No, that's super fascinating. Like, that's really good. Um, okay. And someone's asking, how do I get a mentor? So what you can do is search first year connections, or you can register for our C1001 course, and then we'll have links to all the resources there. They'll direct you to the websites, and then you can sign up from there. Um, okay, ooh, lots of questions.
That's awesome. Maybe we'll take one more just because
O-
we are running a little bit short on time.
Okay, for
Uh,
sure.
Someone's asking, can students reach out to professors after class if they have any problems on a topic? Do you want to maybe touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. You can visit professors at their office hours. Um, Basically, their office hours usually aren't too busy. So if you just, you can call them, I'm guessing now since things are going online, they'll be available for video chats. So you can call them, just ask them your questions, and they'll be super happy to answer. Um, and if they are busy, then there's always the option of email. So you can also email them your question, and then they'll get back to you within a few days. So there's definitely a lot of ways to communicate and connect to your professors.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think we're going to take
Oh,
any
and I also
more.
wanted to
Oh,
add,
sorry. All right. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I was going to say that if your professor isn't available, then you can also talk to your teaching assistants because they also know a lot about the content and they're kind of like, that's what they're for as well to answer your questions. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really helpful. TAs are also a great resource. And,
All
typically there's students
right,
who,
well done.
like a broad range of knowledge in that specific subject, so they can answer your questions as well. Okay, so do you have anything else to add, Veronica, before I put up the links
Yeah.
for different initiatives going on? Oh, sorry, there's just a little bit of a delay in I think our video. So
Nope, go ahead.
um, I don't know if we're super in sync right now, but I will put up the two links that we just want to encourage you to check out. So the first one is the
Okay. Yeah, sure.
CU 1000 um, program website. So I'm just going to put that link up there. It is carleton.ca/SEO/orientation/CU-1001. So you
Mhm.
can check that out. Um, and that will be going on all summer. And then the other link that I just want to put up is the link to our CU at Home um, website, where we will be posting about all of the upcoming webinars and Instagram lives that we have throughout the rest of the week. So we have Instagram lives with folks from the Student Experience Office, like Veronica, um, on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we also have a few other webinars happening on Microsoft Teams. So I would recommend checking out that link as well. And you can ask us all of the rest of your questions tomorrow when you tune in. So thanks so much, Veronica.